We break our evening of college hoops coverage to pass along some sad news in the world of boxing. Former middleweight champion Marvin Hagler has died. Hagler is considered to be one of the greatest middleweight fighters to ever enter the ring, holding the undisputed middleweight title from 1980 through 1987. In his career, Hagler sported a career record of 62-3-2, including 52 knockouts. Hagler's 78% knockout percentage is the highest of anyone in middleweight history. Hagler was just 66 years old. Here to put words to the life of a champion, CBS Sports combat analyst Brian Campbell. BC, sad news here on Saturday night with the passing of marvelous Marvin Hagler. Hagler's wife confirming the news on social media, calling the passing of her husband unexpected. BC, how will you remember the career of one of the truly great fighters to grace the ring?
Yeah, look, this is tough news to take because for a lot of us that grew up in the late 70s and the 1980s watching boxing, Marvin Hagler was boxing, a true fighter's fighter, maybe the last of the old school generation of guys who could box just as good as they could fight, but did it the hard way. This was not a guy, when he turned pro in 1973, who had the same, let's say, upbringing as a professional as his great and bitter longtime rival Sugar Ray Leonard. He wasn't the Olympic hero. He wasn't applauded with huge praise and financial opportunities. He did it the hard way. He took some losses early in his life, but when he established himself as an elite middleweight, nothing was able to stop him in his absolute prime. Suffered a disputed draw against Vito Anafirmo in his first title fight in 1979. He thought he was robbed. What did he do next? He came back the next year and knocked out Alan Minter to win the undisputed middleweight title, holding it, as you mentioned, for nearly 8 full years. And along the way, along with winning Boxer of the Year in both 1983 and 1985, co-authoring 2 of the most memorable fights in boxing history. That alone would be enough to put him on most people's Mount Rushmores of the greatest fighters of the modern era, having gone toe-to-toe with Tommy Hearns in 1985's fight known simply as The War. Maybe the 3 greatest action-packed rounds this sport has ever seen. And of course, Hagler's final fight, 1987, against that longtime rival I mentioned, the great Sugar Ray Leonard. As disputed a fight, Joe, as you can find in the modern times. Still to this day, Hagler walked away with a split decision loss, and a year later he walked away from the sport for good, never to fight again, going on his own terms at age 34, becoming an actor in Italy where he spent most of his life post-boxing. He kept a very small, let's say, public footprint long after his career came to an end. But this man left it all in the ring, a true legend.
Yeah, that outcome may have been disputed, but the legacy will not be. BC, we appreciate your thoughts, your words, and your time. Again, marvelous Marvin Hagler, dead at the age of 66.